Morning. I'm Deacon Steve Hill. I'm the finance director here at St. Patrick Parish and Archbishop Bergan Catholic School. As a follow-up to last night's town hall, Father mentioned that I'd be providing a little bit of a update on our finances for both the school and the parish. I want to start off by saying that we are current on our bills. It might seem a little odd, but there was in our history a time where we weren't current. So I want to say we are current and we are continuing to do so. We're also maintaining our diligence on trying to keep our expenses down and our cash flow positive. For those of you that were either at the town hall or are attending Mass in person, you might notice that we are spending money on certain projects. We are currently in the process of updating the flooring in the church, and we put in a new sound system. I want to say that the reason for that is because we received some significant donations from some parishioners who have passed away, but who remembered St. Patrick in their estate or as a beneficiary of their life insurance policy or as a beneficiary of their individual retirement accounts. So that money that we received from those donors, from talking to them, they wanted to see that go towards those big projects because they knew that we were going to be incurring those costs at some point in the future. And that was a way to try to allow us to pay for those projects without actually having to hit our financial budget. With respect to where we're at financially, we put in the bulletin for the weekend of February 14th, summary financial statements. So if you haven't had a chance to look at those, I encourage you to please look at them. If you have questions about them, please either call or email me in the finance office. The contact information is in that bulletin article. Be happy to address any questions or concerns you have. But for the 6 months ended December 31st, 2020, we ended that 6-month period with a deficit of about $3,800, which is tremendously better than where we were last year. Even to the point it's roughly about $600,000 better than where we were last year at this point. So we are doing tremendously better. I will say though, the expectation is that that deficit number is going to grow as we go through coming up onto our fiscal year end at June 30th. And the reason for that is there really isn't a lot of fundraising items that are coming up between December 31st and June 30th. And that during that 6-month period, we pretty much have Easter, which is a big day of giving for donors. There is the Bergan Fund has kind of a big push typically in May. And then we have the big give that takes place during the month of May as well. But outside of those three really big events, if you will, there isn't a lot of fundraising that's going to be taking place. And because of that, our revenue is going to be down a little bit. Our donations will be down a little bit. The expenses are going to be pretty much consistent. So we will see that deficit kind of grow a bit as we go over time. Even to the point, the preliminary numbers that we have for February, we think that deficit has grown from that $3,800 at December 31st. We're up to about $95,000, which again is still dramatically better than where we were last year, but it is starting to grow, and that's kind of what we expected. And we do anticipate that it will continue to grow a little bit, or even further than that as we get through to our June 30th fiscal year end. Wanted to give you an update from the capital campaign. Our One Community, One Faith, One Future campaign is coming to its conclusion this year. So it's going to be wrapping up towards the end of this calendar year, although a few of our donors have scheduled some payments that'll be continuing into the first part of next year. But overall, that campaign is going to kind of wrap towards the end of this year. We have pledges or commitments under that campaign of roughly $2 million, and we're about 73% of the way collected. So we have a little bit of ways to go. So just encourage you to kind of continue with your pledges, continue with your payments on your pledges, and help us kind of get to that goal. Since the end of December, we have made a fairly significant payment on our mortgage loan. As you recall, that capital campaign is going to help us to pay off our mortgage balance. We made a fairly significant payment. We have, as of today, roughly $640,000 left to be paid on our mortgage, which is down dramatically from where we were at December 31st and even at this time last year. But we are making progress, and the goal is once those pledges come in, we would expect to, by the early part of next year, to have that mortgage balance paid off. The last thing I wanted to give you an update on is the Paycheck Protection Program. As you may recall, both the parish and the school participated in this government financing last year, where we received, between the parish and the school, roughly $680,000 from the government as a loan, with the opportunity to then kind of follow up if we met certain criterion for how we use that money. We actually were able to seek forgiveness of that loan and have it turned into a donation as opposed to something that we would have to repay. As we mentioned back in December, we were fully forgiven those loans. So both the parish and the school had their loan fully forgiven, and that money became a donation to the parish and the school. The government has come out with round 2 financing for their Paycheck Protection Program loan. It has a few additional criterion that have to be met in order to be able to qualify. St. Patrick did qualify for round 2. Archbishop Bergan unfortunately did not, but St. Patrick did, and we have received funding of roughly $141,000 of additional loans during the month of February. Our intent is to fully use those proceeds to allow us to maximize that forgiveness. Once we fully utilize that money, we can seek forgiveness. There's no guarantee as to how much will actually be forgiven, but our intent is to try to use those monies so that we can maximize that forgiveness over time. So I guess I'll leave you with, we are doing tremendously better than we have in the past. We still have a ways to go. We still are running a deficit with respect to our operating budget, but we are maintaining our diligence on expenses and trying to watch for how we're using our money and trying to be good stewards with the funds that you're giving to us. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us at the parish office.